What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. We got some big-time news to discuss with you guys today as the Vikings, they control their own destiny in the NFC to landing that number one seed. So we'll talk about the Bills beating the Lions yesterday. What does it mean for the Vikings? And then also go over some of the injuries that piled up for Detroit yesterday. They actually lost two of their better defensive players. And then I also want to discuss maybe some bad news here. After I was watching the noon games yesterday, I was just realizing there are a ton of bad quarterbacks in the NFL, and I actually think Darnold may be getting a bigger of a bag than we would have originally thought. And then also just my final thoughts on the Bears-Vikings game. But before we dive into it, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're actually 130 subs away from 45K. If we could hit that before tonight, where we will be going live for the game. So make sure you guys subscribe, tune in. We'll be doing live play-by-play, pre-game show, post-game here live on the channel. So hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already. 130 subs away. Let's see if we can hit it before kickoff tonight. So what's the great news? What's the big-time news for our Minnesota Vikings? They control their own destiny. So pretty much simple. If the Vikings win their last 4 games, they will be the number one seed in the NFC. And I have talked about this. Honestly, I think it's been since week 4. If you guys have been watching this channel for a while, I've been saying week 18 will come down to not only the NFC North title, but it will come down for the number one seed in the NFC conference. And, you guys are probably saying, well, what about Philadelphia? They're 12-2. What if they went out? They get to 15-2. What does that mean for, the Vikings if they're 15-2 as well? I ran the ESPN playoff simulator till 1 in the morning last night just because of the sicko I am. But no matter what the tiebreaker is, the Vikings will have it. It will probably go down to, I think it's like, it's not conference record, it's whatever, the 5th tiebreaker in there, but pretty much the Vikings will have it, so they control their own destiny. And if you talk about winning the NFC North, I honestly am starting to feel bad for the Lions defensively. So yesterday they lost Carlton Davis, their star lockdown corner, and Aleem McNeil, their star defensive tackle, and this was already a defense that has been riddled with injuries. I mean, obviously the biggest one being Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, you lose one of the top 5 edge rushers in the league. It's going to hurt your defense, and now it's just really Brian Branch and a bunch of random guys. So now I'm just thinking about the Lions. I'm like, they still have a great offense. You can't dispute that. They got a great offensive line, great play caller, pretty good quarterback, 2 good running backs. They got some weapons on the outside as well, but start looking at their defense. It's like there's holes everywhere. They just have a practice squad defense out there. And if you are the Minnesota Vikings, and if you can come into Detroit and potentially just take the life out of that stadium with your own offense, I think Week 18. I mean, if the Vikings, if they are somehow 14-2 entering that week, I would pick them to go win that game and win that division and land the number one seed. And, also just watching the Bills-Lions game, just quick thoughts here. I just wrote down Bills versus Lions was awesome. It was truly one of the most fun games I've watched. Mainly it's just because of Josh Allen. And I'm going to say something crazy right now. I think Josh Allen might be the best football player I have ever watched. The talent that he has is just by far better than any quarterback I've ever seen. I understand guys like Mahomes, John Elway, they just can't run the ball like Allen can. And he is truly special, but it was awesome seeing him, give it to Detroit yesterday. Now, before we talk about the Darnold conversation, I do want to talk about the Green Bay Packers here real quick. So the Green Bay Packers last night went to Seattle and absolutely dismantled that Seahawks team. And I'm not saying that I'm scared of the Green Bay Packers, considering what the Vikings have already done to them and went into Lambeau and got a big-time win. I'll never say that, but the Packers are a dangerous team. And I think they might scare me more than the Lions right now. And it's so funny, and I do this every year. I always tell myself, the NFL, it changes week to week, month to month in extreme fashion. Now I'm looking at the NFC. After just one weekend of the Lions losing Carlton Davis, Aleem McNeil, I honestly think they're the 4th best team in the NFC right now. As crazy as it sounds, I understand they still have an unbelievable offense. They will go hang 30, 40 on damn near any team, anytime, anywhere. But their defense is legitimately one of the worst ones in the NFL now. I can say that wholeheartedly. They just don't have guys. They have a good D coordinator. Is he a great D coordinator? I don't think so. But I think the Lions are probably 4th, and then I'd rank Philly or us, Minnesota 1 or 2, and then it's probably Green Bay number 3. Like, week 17, now I'm thinking about, like, what's the kicker game for the Vikings? Also, more big-time news, when the Vikings travel to Seattle next week, probably won't be with Geno Smith, which is fantastic news for us. But, you know, like, I think week 17 is going to be the kicker. I think that game versus the Packers at home, that's going to be the determining factor if you are going to go win the NFC North title. And then obviously you got to go handle business week 18 against the Detroit Lions. But I think it's big time news. Now we'll talk about the Darnold situation here in a second. But hey, if you guys want the Vikings to win the NFC North, just hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video, show us some love down below, and hit that thumbs up icon. Now let's talk about the Darnold situation here. So what I wanted to talk about was, I was just watching the noon games yesterday, and the quarterback play is awful. So originally I said I don't think the Titans or the Colts would be in the quarterback market. Well, Will Levis got benched yesterday. Anthony Richardson can't complete 50% of his passes. I think, honestly, if I had to go my dark horse to go throw Darnold a bag, it would be the Indianapolis Colts. And I would be a little nervous of Darnold going to Indy, because I think they would be able to offer him a better support system than I think a lot of us realize. Like, they've always had a good offensive line. They got to, I don't know, maybe Shane Steichen's a little overrated, but people regard him as a pretty good head coach in the National Football League. They've always had a good defense. They've had an aggressive owner. Like, Irsay is going to go overpay to try to get his guy. So, the Colts, I think they could give Darnold the bag, but it's got like the Giants, the Raiders. They're going to be picking 1 and 2 most likely in the NFL draft. Let's just say they both take quarterbacks, and then you're looking at like teams like the Seahawks, like the Saints. What are they going to do? Like the Jets. Like, there's really no third good quarterback in this class. Yes, maybe a guy like Drew Aller from Penn State, but I still think teams like the Titans and Colts, with 2 coaches who are probably thinking they're coaching for their job, they're probably going to want to go throw Darnold a massive contract. So, I don't know. The more I'm starting to think about this, I think it's going to come down to Darnold and his agent and what do they want. Because obviously they're trying to cash in. This is going to be their big payday. But you know what, Darnold? You have a chance to build something here in Minnesota. You have a chance to build a solid relationship with Kevin O'Connell, and look at what you're doing after year 1. Could you imagine if you have a whole offseason working with Jefferson, working with Addison, Hockenson, just really, buying into this offense and this culture? Because, yeah, you have bought in this year, but I'm sure always in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I'm leaving after this year. I'm going somewhere else. But let's just say the Vikings give him a 2-year, $50 million deal, which is my ideal contract, which also seems incredibly unlikely now. It'd probably have to be like 2 for $70, which honestly, even then, I would be open to doing it. But I would just make the argument, hey, if you go to Tennessee, your career might be over. You go to the Colts, your career might be over. You go to the Giants or Raiders, your career will definitely be over. So hopefully Darnold stays, but I don't know. Just watching the noon games yesterday, that's kind of been my final thought. It was just like, there are a lot of bad quarterbacks in the NFL right now. But all right, let's wrap up my thoughts on the Vikings-Bears game here. So Bears aren't going to be they're going to be without Braxton Jones, so more offensive line injuries for them. Stephon Gilmore is questionable for the Vikings. I don't expect him to play. Pretty much this game, I think the Vikings are going to kill him. I think it's going to be a kind of we're here type of game, just like it was last week, but it's going to be from the jump. I think this is going to be 34-13, whatever. Vikings will get in the 30s. Bears won't get across 17. I really think it's going to be a blowout tonight. I just don't. Yes, I understand Caleb, and I think a lot of people are thinking, oh, Caleb played really good against the Vikings defense last time. Yeah, 100%, but also now you incorporate the crowd noise. He loses another offensive lineman. We're getting healthier on defense. We're kind of trending that way. The Bears are in free fall right now. I think the defense is going to have a massive game. I think they're going to stop the run tonight. I think they're going to sell out on DeAndre Swift and really make Caleb Williams beat you, and I don't think he's going to be able to. And I just think offensively, they're also missing Dexter, their interior defensive lineman. I just think the Vikings are going to be able to do whatever they want. I think they would go right up and down the field. Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson. I just think they're going to dismantle them. I really do. So that's kind of my final thoughts. No real, analysis here, but that's what I think. I'm going to go 34-13 in favor of the Minnesota Vikings. But, hey, if you guys want the Vikes to beat the Bears, give me a SKOL down below in the comment section. Again, I'm going to be going live for the game. Probably be live at about 5:45 tonight. If you guys want to tune in, I'd really appreciate it. But we'll see you guys next time. As always, let's go Vikes.